You just bought some potatoes or onions, brought them home. And what happens to that bright mesh bag? Most often, it goes straight into the trash. But what a waste! You wouldn't believe what a valuable resource for your garden you're actually throwing away. Today, I'm going to show you 10 ingenious ways to give that netting a second life. And trust me, some of these ideas are sure to surprise you. This simple item is actually a real treasure for any gardener. It's durable, it won't rot under the rain or sun, and it allows water and air to pass through perfectly. These very qualities make it an indispensable helper. So, the next time you're about to toss that mesh bag, remember this video. Alright, let's dive into our first method, and it's probably the most popular one out there. We're going to turn ordinary mesh netting into a sturdy support for your climbing plants. Instead of spending money on special garden trellises that take up valuable storage space, let's use what we already have. Those mesh bags your produce often comes in are surprisingly strong. They won't rot from moisture or break down in the sun, making them a perfect reusable material. So what's the trick? It's super simple. Grab 2 sturdy supports. These could be wooden stakes, pieces of rebar, or even old shovel or broom handles. Drive them into the ground at each end of your garden bed. Now stretch your netting tightly between these supports. You can secure it using anything from zip ties to soft wire, or even just strong twine. If a single piece of netting isn't long enough, simply connect a few pieces together. So what plants is this support perfect for? It's a fantastic solution for peas, climbing beans, and of course cucumbers. Their little tendrils will happily cling to the mesh openings, eagerly climbing upwards towards the sun. Plants on this kind of trellis get excellent air circulation, which dramatically lowers the risk of fungal diseases. Plus, your fruits won't be lying on the soil. They'll stay clean, and they'll be incredibly easy to pick. In just a couple of minutes, you'll have yourself a free, durable trellis ready for a bountiful harvest. Next, we have our second method, a reliable and crucially entirely free solution for protecting your harvest from feathered friends. It's incredibly frustrating, isn't it, when you've lovingly tended your strawberries, currants or cherries, only for birds to swoop in at the last minute and peck away at the ripest, most beautiful berries. Scarecrows and shiny ribbons often don't do the trick, but that's where our netting comes to the rescue once again. It's brilliantly simple. Simply take 1 or more pieces of netting. If needed, you can easily tie them together to create a larger sheet. Then, just drape it over your berry bushes or strawberry patch. You can gently secure the edges to the ground with a few stones, or simply pin them down with wire staples. The best part about this method? The netting doesn't interfere with your plants at all. It allows sunlight, air, and rainwater to pass through easily. Bees for pollination will still find their way in, but birds, they won't be able to get to your precious berries. For them, it's an impenetrable barrier. What's more, unlike thinner specialised nets, our larger mesh ensures birds won't get tangled or injured. When it's time to harvest, simply lift the netting off and then replace it once you're done. Your harvest is safe and the birds remain unharmed. Moving on to our third method, and this one is like a full suit of armour for your cabbage. We all know that pretty white butterfly with black spots on its wings, the cabbage white. It looks harmless enough, but for any gardener, it's public enemy number 1. It lays eggs that hatch into ravenous caterpillars, capable of turning your lush cabbage heads into Swiss cheese in just a few days. So, how do we fight back without chemicals? You guessed it, we grab our netting again. But there's a crucial detail here. Simply draping it over the cabbage won't work, because the butterfly can still lay eggs right through the mesh onto the leaves. We need to create a small barrier, a space between the netting and the plants. To do this, we'll build a simple tunnel. Grab a few hoops. You can fashion these from thick wire, old plastic pipes, or even flexible willow branches. Set these hoops up over your cabbage patch. Now stretch your netting over them, or several pieces of netting sewn together if needed. The most important step is to firmly secure the edges of the netting to the ground. You can mound soil over them or weigh them down with stones. The key is to leave no gaps, no openings for that butterfly to sneak inside. The result? You've got yourself a perfect protective dome. Sun, air and water can freely reach your plants, while the cabbage white can flutter above your garden all it wants, but it won't be able to get to those leaves. This is a 100% organic, incredibly effective method to save your harvest. This fourth method will be a game changer for anyone who grows onions and garlic for storage. After harvesting, one of the most crucial tasks is proper drying. Fail to do so, and the bulbs will quickly start to rot, rendering all your hard work useless. Traditionally, they're spread out in attics, on verandas, or in sheds, but this can be inconvenient and takes up a lot of valuable space. This is where our mesh net truly shines as the perfect drying tool. Picture this: you've just harvested your garlic or onions, gently brushed off the soil, and trimmed any excess roots and stems. Now simply place them directly into our net. Be careful not to pack them too tightly, ensuring air can circulate freely. Then tie the top of the net and hang this makeshift bag in any dry, warm, and most importantly, well-ventilated location. An attic, a covered porch, or even a balcony would work perfectly. Thanks to its open mesh design, air circulates around each bulb from all sides, allowing moisture to evaporate evenly and quickly. There's no contact with a solid surface, eliminating the risk of dampness and rot developing on one side. What's more, if you have the right conditions, these nets are also perfect for storing your onions and garlic throughout the entire winter. It's compact, convenient, and provides the ideal ventilation crucial for extending the shelf life of your harvest. Here's our fifth hack, a clever trick that will save you time and keep your kitchen spotless after harvesting your produce. This tip is all about washing root vegetables. We all know the struggle of bringing in a bucket of potatoes, carrots or beets from the garden, caked with dirt. Then you spend ages scrubbing not just the vegetables, but the sink and everything around it. Well, forget about that mess. Your mesh produce bag turns into the perfect vegetable washing machine. Here's how. Either right in the garden or once you're back home, simply gather your dirty root vegetables and place them into a mesh bag, like the kind potatoes or onions come in. No need for a fresh one. The same bag you used to carry them will work perfectly. Now for the best part. Just grab your garden hose with a spray nozzle and thoroughly rinse the vegetables while they're still in the mesh bag. Alternatively, dip the entire bag into a bucket of water and swish it around vigorously. All the heavy dirt and soil will easily wash away through the large mesh openings. Your hands stay practically clean, and you avoid tracking dirt all over your kitchen. After this initial pre-wash, your vegetables will only need a quick final rinse under the kitchen tap. It's simple, fast, and incredibly convenient, especially when you have a large harvest to process. Our sixth tip is perfect for anyone who grows plants in containers, whether they're houseplants, seedlings on a windowsill, or tomatoes on a balcony. A common challenge growers face is ensuring proper drainage. Typically, people add materials like expanded clay aggregate, pebbles, or broken pot pieces to the bottom. However, these add significant weight and aren't always readily available. What's more, fine soil particles can still wash out through the drainage holes, creating a mess. But what if I told you that the perfect drainage layer is something you likely already have? That's right, it's mesh. It's incredibly simple. Before adding soil to your pot or container, simply cut a piece of mesh and lay it flat on the bottom. 1 or 2 layers will be enough to completely cover the drainage holes. What are the benefits? First, when you water your plants, soil will no longer wash out of the pot. Your windowsill or patio will stay clean. Second, and most importantly, the mesh will prevent the drainage holes from getting clogged with soil. Excess water will always be able to drain away freely, which is the best prevention against root rot. Your plant's roots will thank you for it. It's a lightweight, long-lasting, and completely free alternative to store-bought drainage materials. Our 7th tip is a game-changer for anyone growing seedlings, particularly if you value your peace of mind when transplanting them outdoors. The most stressful moment for a young plant is when it's time to take it out of the seedling flat. Often, the root ball crumbles, delicate roots get torn, and the plant goes into shock, taking a long time to recover and adapt to its new home. Let's make this process virtually stress-free with this simple mesh trick. Before you fill your seedling tray with potting mix, line its bottom and sides with a single piece of mesh. Make sure to leave small flaps extending over the edges. Now confidently add your potting mix and sow your seeds as you normally would. As your seedlings grow, their roots will naturally penetrate the mesh, creating a unified, reinforced root ball. Then, when it's time to transplant, you no longer have to carefully dig out each seedling with a trowel, risking damage. Instead, you simply grab the mesh flaps and gently lift the entire block of seedlings, soil and all, directly out of the tray. It will emerge as a solid, cohesive block that won't crumble. From there, you can either cut the mesh to separate individual plants, or, if your planting plan allows, transplant them in small clusters. The root system experiences minimal disturbance. Plants hardly experience any transplant shock and take off growing right away. It's a simple trick that significantly boosts the transplant success rate of your seedlings. Our 8th method will transform you into a true organic gardening alchemist. We're going to brew what's known as compost tea, or a liquid herbal infusion. This is a super effective living fertilizer that enriches your soil with beneficial microorganisms and easily absorbed nutrients. Traditionally, people use old sacks or cheesecloth for this, but our mesh bag is absolutely perfect for the purpose. So what do you need to do? Take your mesh bag and transform it into a sort of giant tea bag. Fill it with mature compost, well-rotted manure, or even just fresh grass clippings, like nettles for instance. Don't stuff it too tightly. Tie the top securely. Now submerge this tea bag into a large container of water, a bucket, a barrel, whatever you have handy. Let it steep for several hours, or even better, a full day. You can periodically stir the solution, or just dunk the bag a few times to encourage the brewing process. The water will gradually turn a dark, rich brown. This is your compost tea. You can use this solution to water virtually all your plants directly at the root. They'll receive a powerful boost of energy and vital nutrients. And the best part, after use, the contents of your tea bag simply go back into the compost pile, and the mesh itself can be rinsed out, ready for its next brew. No mess, no sediment, no clogging your watering can. Our 9th tip addresses an age-old gardening problem: wind, which constantly threatens to blow light mulch right off your garden beds. Mulching with materials like grass clippings or straw is a fantastic gardening practice. It conserves soil moisture, suppresses weed growth, and improves soil structure. But as soon as the strong wind picks up, all your hard work can literally blow away across your yard, and once again, our netting comes to the rescue. It's the perfect way to secure any light organic mulch. After you've spread your straw, hay, or dried grass over your garden bed, simply cover it with the netting. You can use one large piece or several smaller ones, overlapping them as needed. To keep the netting itself from blowing away, you'll need to secure it. Along the edges, you can weigh it down with rocks, bricks, boards, or simply pin it to the ground with U-shaped pegs made from thick wire. Now your mulch is securely in place. It won't go anywhere, even in strong gusts of wind. And the best part is, the netting won't get in the way at all. It allows water through easily during watering or rain. It's simple to remove when you need to add more mulch or loosen the soil, and just as easy to put back. This is a simple, elegant solution that will save both your hard work and your peace of mind. Our 10th tip showcases true garden ingenuity, transforming what some might call trash into an incredibly useful cleaning tool. After a productive day in the garden, our tools, shovels, hoes and trowels often end up caked in dried soil, clay, or stubborn grass. Scrubbing all that off can be quite a chore, especially once the grime has really dried hard. Wire brushes can scratch your expensive tools, and a simple rag just won't cut through that kind of stubborn grime. But fear not. This is where our trusty mesh net comes to the rescue. Thanks to its unique structure and material, a durable yet surprisingly flexible plastic, it acts as the perfect abrasive. Simply grab one or even two of these mesh nets and scrunch them up into a dense, springy, fist-sized ball. You can even secure it with a bit of wire to ensure it stays together and doesn't unravel. Voila! You've just created a homemade, reusable and incredibly effective scrubbing pad. This scrubber effortlessly tackles even the most stubborn dried-on dirt without scratching the metal or plastic of your precious garden tools. It's also fantastic for cleaning buckets, wheelbarrows, and even your muddy garden shoes. When you're done, simply rinse this ingenious scrubber under running water, and it's sparkling clean and ready for its next job. It won't rust, won't rot, and will faithfully serve you for a very long time. This is a truly budget-friendly solution that transforms routine cleaning into a much easier and faster task. Our 11th tip is about making a DIY sieve for your garden. We often need to sift soil for seedlings to make it lighter and airier, or to separate finished compost from larger, still undecomposed particles. Batting a dedicated garden sieve is an unnecessary expense, but our mesh will handle the job just as well. There are 2 simple ways to do this. The first is the quickest. Take an empty bucket or any other suitable container. Cover the top with your mesh, securing the edges with something like an elastic band or rope, making sure it's pulled taut. Now simply pour soil or compost onto the mesh and work it through with your hand. The fine, loose material will fall into the bucket, while all the larger clumps, stones and sticks will remain on the mesh. The second option is more permanent. If you have an old wooden frame, perhaps from a picture or a window, you can create a stationary sieve. Just staple or nail the mesh to the frame using a staple gun or small nails, pulling it tightly as you go. This will create a convenient tool that you can use for many years. It's a great example of how you can turn something unused into useful and durable garden equipment. This 12th method will be particularly appreciated by those involved in potato cultivation, especially if you prepare your own seed stock. Proper storage of seed potatoes is crucial for ensuring a successful harvest. They need excellent ventilation, protection from rodents, and freedom from excessive moisture. Traditionally, seed potatoes are stored in crates or sacks, but our netting offers a more efficient solution, particularly for smaller batches. Once you've selected, graded, and chitted your seed tubers, simply place them into our vegetable nets. You can even label each net to clearly indicate the variety. Now for the most important step, suspend these nets in your cellar or basement. Don't simply place them on the floor or shelves. Specifically, hang them from the ceiling or beams. What are the advantages of this approach? Firstly, it provides ideal air circulation. Each tuber is ventilated from all sides, significantly minimizing the risk of rot and mold. Secondly, it offers 100% protection from mice and other rodents. They simply won't be able to physically reach your precious seed material. Additionally, this method makes it incredibly convenient to monitor the condition of your tubers throughout the winter months. Our 13th tip is about creating a simple, organized workspace right in your garden. How often do you find yourself working, moving from one bed to another, only to constantly misplace your small tools? You leave your pruners in the grass, your gloves somewhere else, or your hand trowel just vanishes. This leads to wasted time spent searching. Let's create a convenient mobile organizer pocket using our mesh. It'll take literally just 1 minute. Simply take the mesh and hang it somewhere easily visible, right where you're currently working. This could be a tree branch, the handle of a wheelbarrow, a fence post, or even a stick you've simply pushed into the ground. Now you have a temporary pocket where you can stash everything you need close at hand. Your gloves, pruners, seed packets, garden markers, even your phone. Everything's visible and in one place. Thanks to its mesh structure, even if you toss in damp gloves, they'll dry out quickly. And if a little soil accumulates at the bottom, it'll simply fall right through. When you're done working in one spot and move to another, simply take this pocket with everything still inside and hang it up at your new location. It's simple, convenient, and means no more lost tools. And finally, our 14th tip, one that's both ingenious and incredibly practical. This method is specifically for those growing heavy fruits on trellises or vertical supports. For example, you might be growing melons, watermelons, or even large pumpkins vertically to save space. It's a fantastic idea, but there's a common problem. As the fruit grows, it becomes increasingly heavy. Eventually, its own weight can cause it to snap right off the vine long before it's had a chance to fully ripen. To prevent this disappointment, we'll create a custom hammock for each developing fruit. Our strong, mesh vegetable netting is perfect for this. Once the fruit is about the size of a large apple, gently cradle it within the net. Then, securely tie the netting to the trellis or another sturdy support, making sure the fruit's weight is fully borne by the net, not by its delicate stem. This way, your fruit will rest in a comfortable, well-ventilated hammock. It gets plenty of sun and airflow, it's kept off the damp ground, and most importantly, its weight no longer threatens the vine. This method allows you to successfully grow even truly massive specimens on your trellises. Not only does it look quite striking, but it also guarantees that your much-anticipated harvest will reach full maturity, safe and sound. But what's the most ingenious use of all? I'd argue it's the compost tea bags. Just imagine, you simply put a bit of organic waste into the net, submerge it in a watering can, and voila! Instant, free liquid fertilizer. That's not just saving money, it's a whole new level of resourcefulness in your garden. Or how about washing your vegetables directly in the net you carried them home in? No more messy sink or extra dishes to clean. Simple solutions that truly make a huge difference. As you can see, that humble little produce net isn't just trash. It's a versatile helper for any gardener. From plant support to crop protection and even DIY fertilizers, it's a brilliant example of how we can repurpose items, benefiting both ourselves and the environment. Thanks for sticking with us until the end. If you found even one of these uses inspiring, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on our future gardening hacks. Now, a question for you: how do you use your produce nets? Or perhaps, after watching this video, you've come up with your own 11th brilliant idea. Share it in the comments below. Let's build a comprehensive collection of these handy life hacks together.